Welcome to this LNAT essay structure video with tips and advice on Part B of the LNAT exam by LNAT Success Associates. This video provides information on how to structure and organize your LNAT essay for Part B of the LNAT exam. We will walk you through each paragraph of a sample LNAT essay. As we go through the essay, we will give tips and advice on Part B of the exam and comment on what makes this a high-level essay response. The information in this video is from the LNAT Essay Writing Guidebook by LNAT Success Associates. You can find it on Amazon or get the downloadable PDF version. Please see the links in the description below the video. Now for a little note about the author. I'm the primary author of this publication, and as a US-UK dual national, I have taught legal writing at a university in the north of England for many years, so I'm very well placed to give advice on this type of essay. So let's go on now to look at the LNAT essay structure. You may wonder what you should include on the LNAT essay. Remember that the essay topics on Part B of the LNAT will be on debatable or contentious topics. So by its nature, the LNAT essay is an argumentative essay. So this means you need to persuade and convince the reader. So let's look now at the components of the LNAT essay: the introduction, the assertion, the argument, the counterargument, the synthesis, and the conclusion. And we'll look at each one of these in turn and comment on them as we go throughout this video. So let's move on to the tips and advice on the introduction to the LNAT essay. Obviously, the introduction is the first paragraph of the essay. Your introduction should include an introductory sentence, an assertion. Obviously, the assertion states the viewpoint that you're going to make on the topic under discussion, and the thesis statement. Now, we say really that this is optional because your assertion should already give a preview of the position you're going to take on the topic. However, for clarity, some students reiterate that in a thesis statement. Thesis statements often begin with phrases like, "This essay will discuss," or "I will show that." Now remember that your introduction should include 3 or 4 well-developed sentences. Likewise, you'll see that each of the other paragraphs normally consist of 3 or 4 sentences as well. Students sometimes really ponder over which topic they should choose on Part B of the LNAT test. You're going to see 3 topics there, so let's look at some tips on how to choose the topic. Well, obviously, you need to write the essay on the topic you feel most confident about. Now, a little tip: if you're unsure, just try to think of the pros and cons for each of the 3 topics listed there. And in doing this, even if you jot it down on paper quickly, you should realize which topic you're most confident about. So let's go on now and look at a sample essay topic. Okay, here we have the sample on euthanasia. As you can see here with this question, you don't need any previous knowledge on any of these LNAT essay questions. All of the topics will be on subjects that are familiar to you. Okay, so let's move on to look at the sample introductory paragraph to the LNAT essay. Here we have the introductory sentence that gives some background on the topic. Next, we have the second sentence, which provides a link to the assertion that the student is going to make in the next sentence. Here we're linking this idea of life expectancy increasing with the idea of the quality of life. And finally, then we move on now to the last sentence of the introduction, which has the assertion. Okay, you can see here the assertion has 2 aspects to it: the idea of the quality of life and the idea of possible effects on the family. You can pause here for a moment if you want to have a look at the complete introduction to the essay. Okay, moving on now to some tips and advice on the argument that you're going to make on your LNAT essay. Your arguments usually expressed in paragraphs 2 and 3. And remember that the essence of a good argument is that it gives persuasive and convincing reasons and examples to support its logical development. So that pretty well sums up what your admissions tutor is looking for when he or she reads the essay. Okay, persuasive and convincing. Is it giving reasons and examples? And does it have logical development? Okay, so let's move on to look at each one of those. So part of that idea of logical development is that each paragraph should be devoted to a specific point. Now again, these can be taken from the list of pros and cons that you already made when deciding which topic to choose. And like we mentioned before, these points need to have been mentioned in the assertion in the introductory paragraph. Okay, now remember again, our points were quality of life and effect on the family. So let's have a look now at a sample second paragraph to the LNAT essay. In this paragraph, we're going to discuss pain and suffering, in other words, the quality of life argument. Okay, so we introduce the idea here in the first sentence. We expand on the quality of life argument here by talking about terminal diagnoses and also the idea of suffering. In the final sentence then of this paragraph, we actually use the phrase quality of life to tie that back again to the ideas raised in the introduction. Going on now to the third sample paragraph for the LNAT sample essay. Really important here in the third paragraph to provide some kind of transition that links your second paragraph to the third paragraph. Okay, notice here the phrase particularly persuasive when, which is a rhetorical device that links the two paragraphs. And we expand on this point in the second sentence here, talking about mental incapacity. And then here in the third sentence, we bring up the point of effect on the family. Okay, they're struggling with the loved one's condition and so on. And remember now that this idea of the family is what's linking the second strand of the student's argument back to the introduction again. You can see how the essay hangs together and has a good rhetorical flow. Finally, we sum up the second part of the argument in the last sentence here of the third paragraph. Okay, again, the idea of family members having to make decisions and the effect on the family. Now, you also want to have a counter-argument in your LNAT essay. This is so important because one of the qualities of a good lawyer is that you can see both sides of a case and refute what your opponent's got to say. So that's something really that your admissions tutor is going to look for in an essay. Remember that you need to mention the counter-argument in part 4 of your LNAT essay. So the counter-argument is basically the cons that you've made on your list, the disadvantage to a proposed course of action. And just like with the argument, you need to support that. You need to demonstrate that you know the strength of your opponent's point of view. Let's move on and look at a sample fourth paragraph, in other words, the counter-argument to the LNAT sample essay. Okay, we introduce the counter-argument in this sentence. When you express the counter-argument, it's really beneficial to state it indirectly using what's called argumentative language. And we can see here the phrase based on the presumption that, which is one of those types of rhetorical phrases that are very useful on the LNAT test. Now in our book, we of course explore each of these aspects in more depth. Moving on now to the next part of the sample counter-argument, you can see here that this rhetorical question and sentence are extending the counter-argument by coming up with a worst-case scenario of the avarice that family members might have in some situations and how that could be dealt with. And again, notice the kind of rhetorical phrases that are used here. This argument holds that, which again demonstrates the type of phrases that admissions tutors are looking for. On the last sentence then of the counterargument, you need to be sure that this is linking into the synthesis that you're going to provide in the concluding paragraph. And again, you'll see as we move on to the conclusion how the essay hangs together. Carry on with the useful rhetorical phrases for the counterargument with the phrase, they claim. All these things are improving the flow of your writing. Let's have a look then at the tips and advice for the conclusion for the last paragraph of the LNAT essay. As we've referred to previously, this needs to be your synthesis. And the synthesis basically re-acknowledges the counter-argument you've just made and helps the conclusion move on to a forward-looking position. Okay, this is essentially where you try to resolve differences between opposing points of view on a topic. So essentially this consists of a reiteration and some reasons. Now sometimes, particularly when the counter-argument is very strong, you may want to propose some sort of compromise between the viewpoints. And in this case, if you are going to compromise, you need to be very clear and give specific conditions on that in your conclusion. Okay, finally, let's move on now to look at the sample conclusion to the LNAT essay. So here we have the first sentence to the last paragraph. This is a compromise synthesis. The Advanced Health Directive essentially brings about euthanasia indirectly by withholding medical treatment in certain situations. Moving on then, remember that you've got to link back to your own arguments here in the concluding paragraph. And we do this here by talking about the event of incapacity, which of course links back to the quality of life argument. And you can see that here in the highlighted phrase. In other words, medical treatment is withheld if the quality of life is poor. The third sentence then here ties back to the effect on the family argument. Take a moment to read that. And then finally we have the concluding sentence, and this is where we illustrate the forward-looking aspect of the essay. You're looking into the future, talking about or predicting how your proposal is going to bring benefits about in the future. This sentence does exactly that, and it brings the essay to an effective conclusion. So here we have a cover of the book, and you can see the book really drills down now into the kinds of language that your admissions tutor is looking for, the argumentative language, your assertions, modality. Again, this is when you kind of hedge between the argument and counter-argument, using qualifiers to make limitations, and then using strong verbs that are going to illustrate the argument and counter-argument effectively. And as we mentioned before, the book also provides more information on each of these aspects of the LNAT essay. And essentially, it gives you 5 sample essays with comments like those that an admissions tutor would make. So thanks so much for joining us, and please subscribe to our channel for more great exam practice videos, including a review of the multiple choice part of the LNAT exam. Please note that the LNAT is a registered trademark of the LNAT Consortium Limited and is administered in partnership with Pearson. And the LNAT Consortium and Pearson are not affiliated with this video or with the related publication.